Ready to get started. The February meeting of the Alcohol License Review Committee is called to order.
Welcome to our hybrid meeting. Participants in the room, please do not join the meeting in Zoom. Virtual participants, if you lose connection at any point during the meeting, you can reconnect by clicking the link or calling the number in your original email. Members attending virtually, if you are able, please activate your video for purposes of quorum and keep it on for the duration of the meeting. Staff, if you are able, please activate your video when you are speaking. Members of the committee, when you wish to speak, ask questions, or request a roll call vote, please push the person button on your microphone or raise your hand virtually. Those in the room will have their microphones turned on when they are recognized to speak. Those attending virtually can unmute themselves when recognized. When you are finished, all should mute themselves. Members of the public who have registered to speak. Those appearing virtually, the name you entered in Zoom must match the name you entered in registration. You will remain muted until called upon. If you are here in person, when you are called to speak, approach one of the two podiums on either side of the dais, and you will be recognized. For all registrants, the clerk will tell you when your time is up. After all public speakers, a member of the body may ask you a question. If you need to share documentation with the committee, please send it to the email listed on today's agenda. Thanks. Chair, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So this meeting is governed by Robert's rules. Speakers wishing to address the committee must first complete a registration form and submit it to the city clerk designee. Speakers may speak to the committee only after they are called by the chair. A note on procedure. So this is something we've done before. The Madison General Ordinances require for new licenses certain notifications to the neighborhood, the alder, and the police captain. So I'm going to ask any applicant for a new license whether they've made those notifications before the 3 minutes of testimony, and I'll ask the committee what their preference is after, depending on the answer to the question about the notices. If that was confusing, it'll be more clear when we get there. Next on the agenda is approval of the minutes from January 15th. Is there a motion to approve?
We have to do roll call.
Oh, please call the roll, Jim.
Sure. Just give me one
Thank you.
second. And Alder Martinez Rutherford is a notified absence for today. Alder Revere.
Here.
Alder Revere is here. Mr. Bruchuk?
Here.
Mr. Bruchuk is here. Ms. Farley?
Here.
Ms. Farley's here. Ms. Westra?
Here.
Ms. Westra's here. Alder Knox? I don't see Alder Knox. Ms. Carter?
I see her in Zoom.
Ms. Carter?
I said present.
I heard something.
You're faint, but I barely hear you, but I indicate you're here.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I do hear you now.
Sorry, it was on top of my head.
Okay, so we've had this room reserved. We just talked to Judge Cobalt earlier this week. Is there, and if this is our victim impact.
Sure.
I'm talking to Aaron.
Can we finish
Okay.
the roll
Yeah,
call
we're in
first?
the middle of a roll call. Can we just hold on a second?
Well, can we talk in just a second?
Yep.
We're calling the roll. We just, yeah, we're in the meeting. We can pause and talk just after, if you want to wait a second.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Yep.
Let's continue.
Yep. Alder Knox? Alder Knox. Chair, we do have quorum.
Thank you. I guess what do you think? Take a quick recess so we can work it out with her?
Yeah, for people not here, it seems like there's a issue with the room being double booked. I was wondering if maybe we could take a quick recess. I know it seems like there's a lot more people here for that than there are for the ALRC. I know we might have other rooms. I don't know how well it's going to work for the media team to switch rooms. But if we could take a recess, I think we can try to resolve it.
I move for a recess.
Motion for recess by
Set.
Ms. Westra, second by Sherry Carter.
Yep, thank you.
Are there any objections to taking a recess? Seeing none, the committee is recessed until we come back to order on my call. Thanks.
Thanks.
Present.
Ms. Riley's here. Ms. Westra?
Present.
Ms. Westra is present. Alder Knox? Alder Knox. Ms. Carter?
Present.
Ms. Carter's here. Chair, we do have quorum.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is approval of the minutes from January 15th, 2025. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Moved by Ms. Carter,
Second.
seconded by Ms. Westra. Is there any objection to approval of the minutes? Seeing none, the minutes are approved. Next is approval of the minutes from January 22nd, 2025.
Move approval.
Moved by Ms. Westra,
Second.
second by Ms. Carter. Any objection? Seeing none, minutes are approved. Are there any public comment, general public comment?
Give me 1 second. We do not have anyone registered for general public comment.
All right. Next is disclosures and recusals. Members of the body should make any required disclosures or recusals under the city's ethics code. Are there any disclosures or recusals? Seeing none. Next is presentation of the consent agenda.
Okay, so I'll,
Verbeek.
yep, so the proposed consent agenda for ALRC meeting February 19th, 2025. Recommended council to grant temporary Class B retailer license concurrent with street use permit, items 3 and 4. Change of agent, items 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10.
Are there any separations? Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move approval.
Moved by Ms. Westra. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor of approving the consent agenda and the recommendations on it? They're all recommended grant. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the consent agenda is approved. Mr. Verbeek, will you review what we just did?
Yep, so the past consent agenda for tonight's meeting, ALRC of February 19th, 2025. Recommended council to grant item number 3, temporary Class B retailer license concurrent with street use permit, Madison Festivals, Inc. The event is Taste of Madison. Item number 4, temporary Class B retailer license concurrent with street use permit, Madison Festivals, Inc. The event is Madison Marathon. Item 5, change of agent, Tacos and Tequila LLC. Item 6, change of agent, Mega Marts LLC. Item 8, change of agent, Brinker Restaurant Corp. Item number 9, change of agent, Garver Events LLC for 3241 Garver Green. And item number 10, change of agent for Garver Events LLC at 3330 Atwood Avenue.
Thank you. If you heard your business called, then you're done for the night, and we won't need to speak with you later. Next on our agenda is item number 2, operator license application for Shauna Masijeski. Please help me with the pronunciation. Shauna, if you're here, is Shauna registered?
I do not see Shauna registered.
Okay. We were expecting Shauna here.
Yeah, Shauna said she would like to attend this meeting and she was sent an invite to register.
Okay. Ms. Carter,
Yes, can we table item 2 until Shauna appears at this meeting?
Ms. Carter moves tabling of Item number 2, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Westra. Is there any objection to tabling item number 2 until Shauna appears? Seeing none, motion passes. Item number 2 is tabled. Okay, next on the agenda is item number 7, change of agent for Cracker Barrel. Is there any registrants for this item?
We do not have any registrants for the item. I can explain why it wasn't on the consent agenda. So it was brought to my attention by ACA McReynolds that on the application form, they listed a different agent at the top of the form than it was at the bottom of the form. I reached out to Cracker Barrel. They said the person who's on the bottom of the form, it was also the person listed on today's agenda, is the correct person, but they just need to update the top of the form, and they indicated they would do so.
Okay, sounds good.
But this person's past background check and would otherwise have been on the consent agenda.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Verbic. Ms. Carter?
So what would be the proper procedure for this? Would we move this to our next meeting? I'm just asking a question right now.
I would defer to Attorney McReynolds or Mr. Verbic. Any advice? Ms.
Yes.
Attorney McReynolds.
Thank you, Chair. So, Jim, is it essentially just a typo? And so they have confirmed with you the typo?
Correct.
I think that it would be fine to amend that yourself if you confirm that with them, because the bottom part is, and it is on the agenda correctly, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah. So then I think as long as you confirm that that's just a typo, I think you can proceed.
Thank
Then
you.
I would like to move approval.
A motion to approve by Ms. Carter. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Westra. Is there any objection to approval of item number 7, change of agent for Cracker Barrel? Seeing none, item 7 is approved. Yeah. Is that the only one? Okay, next we will take up item number 13, which requires interpretation. Is there a registrant online or in the room for Taco Madres?
Yep, in the room, we have Jose Zakua Mendez. And then we also have a registered Nicholas Davies who's in support but not wishing to speak.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. So first up, I guess we'll, and you're both registered?
Okay, well, after you're done here, then Ricardo can register. Yep.
Yep. They can just go together, right?
Yeah. No, Ricardo can participate, but after we're done with the item, then he just, if he wants to go in the front and just register. All right. First, if I could have the interpreter raise your right hand, do you affirm you accurately interpret English to Spanish and Spanish to English? Excellent, thank you.
Okay, thank you for coming back today. Good to see you. Please tell us, you have 3 minutes, tell us about your business. What should we know?
We are trying to get or acquire the alcohol license to be able to sell margaritas.
Abrimos de 10 de la mañana a 10 de la noche.
Open, we are going to be open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
No tenemos patio.
We don't have a patio.
Y la vez pasada vinimos y nos dijeron que teníamos que hablar con la asociación de vecinos.
And the objection in the last meeting was that we needed to talk to the neighborhood association.
Eso lo hicimos a través de correo electrónico
We had that conversation through email.
y hablé por teléfono con Ryan, el representante de la asociación.
And I had a phone conversation. I talked by phone with Ryan, who represents the neighborhood association. Okay, sorry. Okay. So, Mr. Ricardo talked with Ryan, the representative from the neighborhood association, and had an email exchange with the other members of the neighborhood association.
Thank you. And did you, have you spoke to the police captain who represents this area?
Usted, police?
Police.
Usted ya también tuvo la conversación con el capitán de policía que representa a este distrito?
Sí, lo hicimos la vez pasada.
Yes, we did that last time.
Okay, thank you.
Gracias.
Are there any questions from members of the committee?
¿Hay algún concejal que tiene una pregunta para ellos?
Attorney McReynolds.
Thank you, Chair.
Gracias.
Did you also, I can't remember from last time, did you also have a conversation with the alder
Sí.
of that district?
¿Usted tuvo también una
Alder
conversación
Martínez
con el
Rutherford?
concejal de ese distrito? No me acuerdo de la vez pasada, ¿sí? Yes.
Solamente teníamos la conversación pendiente con la asociación de
The only item that was pending is our conversation or discussion with the neighborhood association.
Okay, and then from the email that you sent, it looks like you and Ryan
Del correo y la conversación entre Ryan y usted.
tried to connect,
Usted
but
trató de conectarse, pero
that there never was, that the neighborhood association was not able to
la asociación de vecinos no fue capaz de
make your public meeting, because your public meeting had happened before the last
no
meeting.
pudieron
Is that
venir
right?
a la reunión pública porque la reunión pública ya se había hecho para cuando usted los contactó, ¿correcto? Correcto. That's correct.
Okay. And for the benefit of the
Y por el beneficio de
ALRC, the email that I'm referring to is the one that Jim sent
correo
just before
electrónico
the
fue el
meeting,
que Jean mandó. Could
and
you
it's in the
repeat-
packet.
que está en el paquete. What email? What email? Sorry, from.
The email that I'm referring to is in the packet.
Okay, hay un correo electrónico que está en el paquete de la aplicación y la abogada de la ciudad se está refiriendo a ese correo electrónico, pero es algo entre interno.
Just so that the members of the committee know what I'm talking about.
Okay, ¿por qué? Para que los miembros del comité que están presentes sepan de lo que ella está hablando y van y revisan el paquete si tienen inquietudes. Okay.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Okay, la abogada de la ciudad no tiene ninguna otra pregunta.
Thank you. Are there any further questions from members of the committee?
¿Hay alguna otra pregunta de algún concejal o algún otro miembro del comité?
So I'm looking at this email thread. It looks like you did
Yo estoy mirando este correo
correspond back and forth with Ryan
con Ryan
from
de
that
la-
neighborhood
de
association.
la Asociación de Vecinos.
And just remind me, do you put an orange sign outside of your business with the time that people could come in?
Usted
and
ya
discuss
puso
the issues
un
with you?
aviso afuera de su negocio diciendo que podía venir la gente del vecindario a discutir este asunto.
Okay,
Yes, and the sign is still there.
thank you. Are there any further questions from the committee?
Hay otra pregunta del comité.
Seeing none,
No. ¿Tiene algo que agregar? No. None.
thank you. So
Gracias.
you're done for now.
Okay, entonces.
Are there
ya-
any
ya hicimos
comments
todo.
about this application from members of the committee? Ms. Westra.
What, Jim, what did Daisy have? Did Daisy Cafe have a liquor license?
I believe they did. Let me double check that. Yes, they did. You want to know if there's any conditions that were on it?
Yes, please.
Okay. There were no conditions on the license.
Okay. I would like to move approval.
Motion to approve by Ms. Westra. Is there a second? Okay, chair seconds. The question is, should item number 13, new license for Taco Madres, be approved? Is there any objection? Seeing none, item 13 is approved.
Can we do a quorum check?
Ms. Wester requests a quorum check. Mr. Verbic, can you call the roll?
Yep. Give me 1 second on that. Alder Revere? Alder Revere?
Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties.
Okay. Alder Revere is here. Mr. Bruchuk?
Here.
Ms. Bruchuk is here. Ms. Farley?
Present.
Ms. Farley's here. Ms. Westra?
Here.
Ms. Westra's here. Alder Knox? Alder Knox is not here. Ms. Carter? Ms. Carter?
I think we lost Sherry.
We need 5 for quorum.
Okay.
So Attorney McReynolds, what happens in these situations? So I was concerned because I was the only one I could see on the committee in Zoom, and Colin's the only one in the meeting room. So that's why I did it, because I didn't want what we did tonight negated legally.
Yeah, thanks for doing that. Yeah, people can ask for a quorum check at any point. It is recommended that the members attending virtually have their cameras on, if at all possible, because that does kind of help with that situation. It does seem like Alder Carter must have, I'm sorry, Sherry Carter must have, left the meeting or has having an issue. So I think we can't proceed further until you have quorum. Maybe Jim is trying to reach out to her now to see if she can get back on.
Yeah, I did send an email.
And is Alder Knox excused?
I have not heard from Alder Knox prior to this meeting.
Could you also reach out to him, please?
Yeah.
So we'll just hold where we are because we can't do anything else without a quorum.
Yeah, and then I would recommend doing, once we have quorum confirmed, voting again on the approval of the last item.
Sure.
Yep. Well, here, I'd like to say thank you to Colin for chairing the meeting for me, for I am homesick. So that's why I'm here.
Well, thanks for being here, even though you're sick.
Alder Knox is on his way.
Okay, I'll call the meeting back to order. Jim, will you call the roll?
Sure. Alder Revere?
Here.
Alder Revere is here. Mr. Brusick?
Here.
Mr. Brusick is here. Ms. Farley?
Present.
Ms. Farley's here. Ms. Westra?
Here.
Ms. Westra's here. Alder Knox? Not yet. Ms. Carter?
Present.
Ms. Carter?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we do hear you. Yep. Chair, we do have quorum.
All right, so we left off before we lost quorum, just before voting on a motion to approve. Well, how about we do it this way? Ms. Westra moves approval of item 13, the new license for Taco Madres. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Carter. Is there any objection to approval of item 13? Seeing none, item 13 is approved. Next on our agenda, we will take up item number 17, which is a new license for Ichiban Sichuan. This one, we will have a interpreter.
Holly, can you raise your right hand and affirm you'll accurately interpret Mandarin to English and English to Mandarin?
Yes.
Thank you.
Is there a registrant for item 16? Or 17, sorry.
那17号呢？登记的是哪一个？申请人是谁？
We have Yizu Wang on Zoom here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, we have Yishu Wang is registered in support, available to answer questions. We also have Sita Huang, who is registered in support, not wishing to speak.
Okay. So Yushu Wang, please just restate your name so I can pronounce it correctly.
那一周位能不能重新再名字再报一下？这样的话我们可以正确记录。也。 有听见吗？能不能再重新名字再重复一下？
Yushu, do you um, have you discussed your application with the neighborhood association in this area, the police captain of the district in which this is included, and the alder from District 13, Alder Evers?
那么一柱，你有没有把你这个你这商业的这计划有没有和你的邻里协会讨论过，或者是你的区域里的警察队长，或者是你那区域的市议员，第13号区域的 Evers 市议员？
Holly, are you able to hear the applicant?
I am not.
Okay. So I don't have any evidence that we're actually having a conversation right now.
Yeah, I heard like some response in the very beginning, but not currently. 一柱，你听得见我说话吗？
Okay.
嗯。 Okay.
All right, Yizhu, I can see you. Can you hear me?
我们能够看得到你，但你听得到我们说话吗？
It looks like we may be having technical issues.
可能是不是技术方面出问题了？
Committee, what's your preference? Attorney McReynolds?
Can the tech facilitator suggest anything, like if the applicant signs out and then tries to get back in? Do you think that would be helpful at all?
Oh, it couldn't hurt. When I unmuted them, they have to click something in order to be unmuted, and they did. So someone's on the other side, and we've heard some sounds. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on their end.
I think they just dropped off.
So my recommendation would just be to wait a minute here, otherwise table and then come back to it. But since we have the interpreter, I don't think it harms anything to just wait a minute while we see if they can reconnect.
I agree. All right, I think we should move on, so I'll entertain a motion to table.
Move to table.
Moved by Ms. Westra. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Carter. Are there any objections to tabling until the end of the meeting? Seeing none. Item 17 is tabled. Okay, I guess, Holly, would you stay with us a little while and see if she comes back? Okay, thank you. Next on our agenda is item number 11, 21 plus entertainment license. And without objection, we can take this up together with item 19, which is a new license for the same establishment.
I have a Ross Hubbard who's registered and support and available to answer questions. And Ross is in Zoom.
Okay, Ross, can you hear us?
Yes, good evening.
Thank you
Yes, can you hear
for
me?
being here. You're required to make several, or 3 to be exact, notifications to the alder, to the police captain, and to the neighborhood association in the area. Have you done those notifications?
I can confirm 2 of the 3 of them for sure. I know my partner Ryan is in the building there. I know we've spoken to the alder, and I know that we've put up the orange sign and had the community meeting.
Okay. Does the members of the LRC wish to proceed? Seeing no objection, please tell us about your business, why you're asking for this license, and what you plan to do.
Yes, the Ohio Tavern is an existing business, 224 Ohio right off of Willie Street. And my partner and I have enjoyed the establishment. We enjoy the food there. We have some other businesses in town, and found out that the business itself was going to be sold because of some issues with the prior ownership. And we like it, and we'd actually like to leave it very much as it is. So it would continue to run the same hours that it is now on Tuesday through Sunday, be out on Mondays. It would generally be 4 p.m. Until 10 on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I believe is the hours. It would be the same hours that they are now. And then standard hours on Friday, Saturday as well. We plan to leave the staff in place. We plan to leave the menu and the overall ambiance of the establishment in place without really changing anything, but continue to run the business and hope that it continues to be a great gathering place on the north side and on the Willie Street area there.
Thank you for that explanation. Are there any questions from members of the committee? Attorney McReynolds.
Thank you, Chair. I did have a question about your percentages. You're envisioning this as a restaurant?
Yeah. Looking at the numbers that are there with the current business that exists with the food sales and bar sales, I believe that it classifies under that licensing. Yes.
Okay, so you're thinking it's going to be 60% food receipts?
We believe so, with the tacos and the oysters and other items that are on the menu, nachos, street corn, all of the things that are on there currently. Yes, ma'am.
And is the menu available until 2 a.m.?
I believe it is the entire time that the restaurant is open. Yes.
Okay. And it sounded like when the chair asked you that you have talked to the alder and posted your sign, but have you been in contact with the neighborhood association?
I have not directly. That's why I said I can confirm those 2 parts were done, but not the neighborhood association or speaking with the police.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from committee members? So you said you're gonna, so the staff that works there now, you're planning on keeping them as long as they want to
Yes,
stay?
yeah, we've met with them as well, and yeah, the entire staff plans to remain in place as is.
Perfect. And so you say they're all trained and experienced. I presume they're trained in IDing, safe serving, and all of that.
Yeah, from my understanding,
Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
So on your application form, you said non-applicable for several of the questions. Security personnel, not applicable. How the clothing they wear, not applicable. How will the line be managed, not applicable. Plan to control and supervise patrons under 21. You're asking for, so can you explain how these are not applicable?
Yeah, the size of the building is small. We always have 2 personnel on staff. That one is behind the bar, one that is behind the bar, but also works in the dining area by the tables. So I've never seen a line there. So in terms of managing a line, we wouldn't have to do that. In terms of carding and verifying people's age, we have visual sight of everybody in the establishment at all times, and would be carding people to ensure that they're over 21 years old.
Okay, so you have 2 people on staff at any time. One's the bartender, and one you said is working.
They do the food, so
Doing the
prep
food.
work is done. Yeah, prep work is done prior, but when they're preparing food, they are also behind the bar. That prep
Okay.
area is on one end of the bar, so they have sight of the entire establishment as well.
And so the bartender then is responsible for checking IDs. You won't be able to check IDs at the door.
That's correct.
And it is a
And that's the way-
restaurant, as you said, so I guess that makes sense.
And that's the way. I'm sorry. Again, I would say that's the way that it has been done, and we plan on continuing to do the same, and adjusting anything that we would need to as we get more into the business and identify needs. So if that is the case, we would. But they haven't had a need for that, so we hadn't planned for that.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Carter, question?
Yes, the couple questions for you. The previous owner of this tavern, did they have the 60/40, or is this just what you're determining for your business?
From the statements that we've seen from them in their business, that looks to be the case. That's correct.
Okay, and that you are willing to pivot if you see the need for having security?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if the need arises and it's necessary, we'd be more than happy to.
And do you have security cameras at all in your establishment?
Yes, there's multiple cameras in the facility.
Okay, thank you very much. That's what I needed to know.
Thank you. Appreciate the questions.
Are there any further questions from committee members?
Me.
Ms.
Sorry.
Westra?
I have to get used to raising my hand. So you're applying for the 21 plus entertainment license. What type of events do you plan on having? I know, and I've attended karaoke there in the past, and
Yes.
karaoke doesn't require an entertainment license. So I'm wondering what other events you'll be planning on doing.
Yeah, at this time, we really don't plan on changing any of the events. As you'd mentioned, we do the karaoke, or they do the karaoke. There's a few other events that I've seen there as well as a patron. I don't actually know what the needs are for the entertainment license. I believe that it was something that we were advised to apply for just in case we needed it, but don't have anything outside of what is currently happening at the Ohio planned. I don't know if that helps answer it or not, but nothing specifically comes to mind at all. We don't plan on doing anything outside of really what's happening there now. So I'm kind of learning as I go on that licensing itself.
I think the occasional live band would require the entertainment license.
Oh, then that's absolutely. I know that they do live music there and have on multiple occasions on different nights where they would have single or duet performers performing acoustically. So that would be exactly why. That's right.
All right. Are there any further questions, Ms. Westra, or any member of the committee? Seeing none, thank you for discussing this application with us. Are there any comments or motions from members of the committee?
I move approval.
There is a motion by Ms. Carter.
I'll second that, and it looks like Attorney McReynolds.
Yes, thank you. So a motion by Ms. Carter, second by Ms. Westra. Attorney McReynolds.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to point out to the committee that one of the prior applicants that we had today was referred, to today's meeting from the last meeting because they did not fulfill all of the things that they were supposed to do. And so, and Mr. Baruchik brought up at the last meeting that this is not, he feels like it's not being applied across the board. So I did want to point out, the application that people fill out and sign says that they agree to contact the neighborhood association prior to this meeting, and that they agree to, contact the police department district captain for this location prior to this meeting. So, I'll mention that because it came up in the last meeting and you then referred the applicant that we heard from earlier today for essentially similar reasons. So I just wanted to point that out.
Thank you. I forgot.
What was your name? Ryan, I'm the partner. Ryan, okay. And so Ms. Wester, do you have a comment?
No, I just forgot that they had said that he didn't know about that.
I can bring, it looks like. Ryan, we can have you back up to answer more questions, but you'll have to register at some point before you leave out at the table out there. But I'm going to hear from Ms. Carter, and then we'll hear from you. So if you want to come up.
She said just since he's already registered, but he's virtual and I'm here.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, Ms. Carter.
Okay. Go ahead.
You go ahead.
I was going to. Oh, yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Do you want me to go ahead?
Yes, Ms. Carter.
Yes, please.
Okay. So a couple things that I want to just go back over is that the applicant talked to the captain of Sector 601, correct? And you talked to the alder. And did the alder inform you what neighborhood association this location is in?
Yes, Ryan spoke with them. We actually contacted them through email. And I believe it's the SASE, is that right? Neighborhood Association?
And
right?
Okay, so did you meet with the board or did they have a neighborhood meeting?
I can't confirm either one of those. I don't know.
Okay, so I think there's a couple things, and I can rescind my motion at this time, and if we want to discuss it more. But I think there's a couple things. I think that it is that establishments will contact the neighborhood association and get an opinion from that. But as far as having a neighborhood meeting, I think that is on the shoulders of either the alder coordinating with the neighborhood association to have this meeting, or the neighborhood association coordinating with the alder. So
Yeah, I
I'm
think
going to
there was-
rescind my motion so that we can have a discussion on this.
Sure. Yeah, I think there was some challenges setting up a meeting with the alder. So that's fine. I appreciate it. Thank you.
But you talked to the alder over the phone?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
thought-
fine. You contacted the alder.
Yes, but the police is what I thought you were referring to. Sorry.
Oh, the police. Yeah, I did ask about that. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So Jim, Chair, what do you want me to do?
Well, the motion.
I'm in a quandary.
Yeah, let's zero in on, because I think I'm hearing that they talked to the alder. I think I heard they said they emailed Sassy.
Yes. Yes.
And, okay, so that's 2 of the 3. What about the police? And you did talk to the police.
We've also emailed the zoning and all the ones we have to do.
Okay, that's fine.
That's the one I can't confirm, but it sounds like Ryan is.
The
I can't
zoning
hear
and
what he's
stuff,
saying.
that's not, we're not talking about that right now, so, relating to, so Attorney McReynolds, do you have the ordinance, that requires that?
Yeah, I'm happy to. Yes.
Can you mute yourself? Alder Revere is talking. Alder Revere, did you have a comment?
Sorry, I'm on my phone. Technical issues again. Apologies.
What's the ordinance that we're going off of? I want to look at that, Attorney McReynolds, and see exactly what it says. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, let me pull that up.
In the meantime, Ms. Westra.
So I was just going to ask Attorney McReynolds, sorry, just for clarification, because Ms. Carter had said something to the effect of a neighborhood meeting with the alder and the neighborhood association. That is not required. It's the informational session that is run by the business at wherever they choose.
Right, the orange sign.
The orange sign, that informational session. If there is a neighborhood meeting, neighborhood association meeting, an alder meeting, that is nice to have, but not a requirement for us to look at doing that. And I bring that up because that might be an issue in a couple meetings.
Are you asking if we did the orange sign notice and informational meeting at the? Okay.
No, we are, we're in discussion. We're trying to nail this down amongst ourselves with our attorney.
I'll wait over here patiently then. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Chair, it may take me a minute to find this. I don't know if it's specifically in the ordinance or if it's only on the application.
I think I found it. Is it, there's so many, okay, 38.05, parenthesis 3. 1, 2, 3, A. A, 4, 12, well, yeah, it's just hard to find, but
Yeah.
So-
it is here. I'm pretty
Can
sure
I-
I've seen it. Ms. Carter.
Yes, let me make a clarification before we go any further. So most businesses will put the orange signs in their window, right? And if you're not walking by that business, you don't see the the orange signs, but that's what's required. If they contact the neighborhood association can decide to have a meeting. Or the alder can decide to have a meeting with the neighborhood association and the applicant. I'm not saying that that is required. Only the orange sign is required. But when we say to them, did you have a neighborhood meeting? Only the orange sign is required. It's nice to have a neighborhood meeting so you don't get a hiccup later on. But I think that when they talk to the alder, sometimes the alder can say that is in such a neighborhood. The neighborhood association is such thing, or that area doesn't have a neighborhood association. That's what I was trying to find out what happened.
Okay, I think, Attorney McReynolds.
Yeah, so thank you, Chair. To Ms. Carter's point, while the orange sign meeting is the required meeting, those other contacts are required by the application. So it's like, did you contact your alder? Did you contact the neighborhood association? Did you contact the police captain for the district? So, there has to be some effort, at least, that those contacts were made. And so I understand that what you're saying, that it doesn't need to have a meeting necessarily resulting from that neighborhood association, but the contact is what the application is requiring.
Absolutely.
This might take me a bit to find. As Mr. Baruchik pointed out at the last meeting, this is not like, this body has often not referred something just because of these reasons, but I felt the need to bring it up because it happened last time in the same neighborhood, and my advice to this body was like, this is the application, they didn't do the things on the application, I think you should refer it. So I wanted to be consistent, so that it didn't, so that we're not favoring certain applicants. I think it's going to take me a while to find the exact citation, but it is on the application that you're agreeing to do these things before coming to this meeting.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Attorney McReynolds. Next is Captain Kamaski.
So I was just going back with Captain Marshall of the East District, and he had an email conversation, I guess, or exchange with a person named Josh, who he said is either maybe the previous owner or a current owner, but is not. I don't know that he's specifically talked with the new individuals that are applying for a license.
Okay. Thank you, Captain Kamaski. Alder Knox.
Yeah, I apologize for being late. I guess I was gonna say, can we, before we act on this, could we review what in fact the person has done in terms of alder, police, and neighborhood contact? But I guess what I'm just hearing now from the police department is indicating that the owners of note here have not contacted the police department. If that's what I heard is correct, can someone verify that again? Is that what I just heard from the police department?
It sounds, I think what you heard, I think you and I heard the same thing.
Yes,
Ryan.
that's fine. That's why all right, so you've clarified that for me. Okay.
Yes, please. So I'm gonna ask, what's your name? Ryan?
Yes, my name is Ryan Schultz. I'm Ross Hubbard's partner.
All right, Ryan Schultz. Okay, so let's go over this again.
So yeah, the contact, once the orange sign was given to us, we put it up in the window and we sent out contact emails to police, to alder, to neighborhood association, as well as zoning and the future things. So we contacted all 6, if not 7. made all those contacts. The police captain did email back. I did not speak with him personally, but he did have the email correspondence. The alder, Rutherford, Ms. Rutherford, yeah, she contacted me by phone personally, and even she was having trouble with the SASE email connection. So I did not get any correspondence back from the neighborhood association, but they were made aware of our attention or of our application and our existence, I guess.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, now I think we're ready to, there's a lot out there, but I believe we're ready to vote here. The question is,
Sorry about the confusion.
no problem. It's not, there's a lot of sources of confusion in this business. So the question before the body is approval of the entertainment license and the new license for the Ohio Tavern on Atwood. Are there any further comments about this application? Is there any objection to approval of the entertainment license and the new license? Alder Knox?
Okay, sir.
Alder
I
Knox,
was
your
just pointing out
hand,
all
your
the-
hand is up.
Yeah, I would object. I just feel like we need to be sure that that the current applicants have had a communication with the MPD. I wouldn't feel
Okay.
comfortable without that. Thank you.
Computer handy, I can bring.
Well, no, we're past that. Let's do a roll call vote on this. The question is approval of item 11 and its corresponding new license.
11 or 19.
And 19, thank you.
Alder Revere? Alder Revere?
Here.
Alder Revere. The question is approval of item 11 and 19, the entertainment license and the new license for the Ohio Tavern.
Aye.
Alder Revere, aye. Ms. Farley?
Aye.
Ms. Farley, aye. Ms. Westra?
Aye.
Ms. Westra, aye. Alder Knox?
Nay.
Alder Knox, no. Ms. Carter?
Aye.
Ms. Carter, aye. Chair, the vote is 4 ayes, 1 no.
With 4 ayes, 1 no, the motion passes. Item 19 and 11 are approved. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Ryan, if I could have you register for the meeting when you walk out of here? Okay.
She's
Yep.
like, oh, just leave it because of the virtual. So I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, next on our agenda is item 12, the Mansion Hill Inn. 21 plus entertainment license. Is there a registrant for this one?
Yes, I have a Terrence Barrett is registered and I believe in Zoom. Yep.
Sorry, can you say their name again?
Terrence Barrett.
Mr. Barrett, are you with us?
Terrence, you're unmuted on our end. If you're on a computer, the mute button, there's a little arrow pointing up next to it. If you click on that, that shows you what microphone you're using. So I'll click that and make sure that you're using the correct microphone. Oh, he just vanished. Terrence is no longer in Zoom.
Okay, Terrence is no longer in Zoom. Committee, what's your preference?
Let's table this until the end of the meeting or table this until our next meeting.
Let's say table
I
till,
think we're kind of close
Yeah.
to the end.
yeah, let's say table till the end of the meeting. That's your motion, Sherry?
Yeah, are we close to the end of the
No, I wouldn't say so.
Oh, okay, then table it until the
Okay.
end. That's fine.
Okay, so the motion is to table this until the end of the meeting. Is there any second? Okay, I guess I'll second the motion. Any objection to tabling till the end of the meeting? Seeing none, it's tabled till the end of the meeting. Okay, that's great. Let's go back to item number 17. Ichiban Sichuan. Yuju Wang, are you with us?
那现在再回到17号，那一珠在不在？
There's no one by that name in Zoom.
It should be under Jenny Wang.
Hello，可以听到吗
Anyway, there is.
？Hello，
Yeah，
可以听到吗？
听得到，先等一下。Okay，so
Let's
can you-
let's
can
wait
y'all
a
hear?
second. Is there a motion to take this off the table?
I move to take it off the table.
Moved by Ms. Westra. Is there a second?
Interpreter needs a little. Interpreter needs a little clarification on what just happened.
I'll explain in just a second if that's okay. Is there any objection to taking it off the table? Seeing none. We did a procedural move that allows us to begin discussing this item, and we're ready to discuss it now.
那现在我们讨论你这个诚意。Okay.
Okay, Ms. Wang, can you tell me whether you have discussed this item or discussed your application with the police captain?
No,
And if you discussed this with the alder of the district?
那温女士，你有没有把你这个申请和你这个市议员，一个区域里面的市议员和你的邻里协会有没有跟他们讨论过？
Ms. Wang, can you hear me?
听得见吗？温女士在吗？
可以听得见，你能听得见吗？
Yep, I can hear. Interpreter's gonna ask. Interpreter's gonna clarify if she heard the question.
Okay.
刚刚问的问题听得见？刚刚听到了吗？刚刚问的那个问题。
听到啦，你能听得到我讲话吗？
Okay. Yeah. Can y'all hear me? 听得见。刚刚问题能不能给我们再回答一下？
那个还没弄，因为最近没时间，但是我会尽快去弄的。对。
So, yes, I heard the question, and I have not had a chance to do that yet because it's been pretty busy recently, but I do plan on doing that as soon as possible.
Okay. So on your application on question 29, you said you agree to do that, so, okay, does the committee, what's your preference for how to proceed? Ms. Carter?
Just a minute. I'm trying to get out of one meeting, getting into another. I have a question. Did the Miss Wing, did she say she did not contact the captain and the alder? I mean, it sounded like she said, I'm going to do all that. I'm just trying to figure out what all is.
那文女士，我们想澄清一下，就是说你刚刚说你还没有和像警察局的队长，还有你的市议员都还没有机会跟他们联系过，是不是？然后你刚刚说就是要准备尽快都把这些完成，然后你把这些完成是指哪些东西会尽快完成？
就是所有的东西，就是我需要做的东西。
Yeah, so by that I meant just all the things that I need to do.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that clarification. I moved to refer this to our next meeting when the applicant is.
Okay.
那么我需要提出动议，那就是把这一个项目推到下一次的会议再讨论。
Okay, so there's a motion by Ms. Carter, a second by Ms. Westra to refer this to the next regularly scheduled ALRC meeting.
那么 Carter 女士提出动议，就是把这个项目推到下一次的会议再讨论。然后 Westra 女士也有赞成。
Are there any comments by members of the committee?
那么委员会有没有什么其他人要发言的？
I'll just note that this item is different from the one we previously did because we heard testimony in the previous one that the applicant did make the required contacts. And so, and this applicant says that it's been too busy to do so, but that she will. So we'll give her time. Should this motion pass, I think that gives time to take care of those required contacts. So is there any further comments from the committee?
那我们就要记录一下，这个项目跟之前的项目有一点不一样的，因为之前的项目的业主有说过，他已经试图联系过那些需要联系的人，而这个项目的业主说，因为最近比较忙，所以还没有机会试图达成联系，所以我们推到下一次的会议，这样的话给业主充分的时间，在完成需要做的那些 需要达成的那些联系。
Are there any objections to referring this?
那有没有谁反对把这个项目推到下一次？
Seeing none, this item is referred to the next meeting.
那没有人反对的话，那么这个项目推到下一次会议。
Okay, so just to review, Ms. Wang, what you have to do is host an information session. What you may have already done with that orange sign, contact the alderperson for that district. That's District 13. That's Alder Tag Evers. And you have to contact the police department district captain for that district.
那么，所以我们再重复一下，文女士，在下一次的会议之前，你必须要举办一次公共会议的信息的会议，就是说，那就是把这个橘色的标牌就放到你的这个企业的窗户上，这一点你可能已经做过了。接下来你还必须要和你区域的市议员要达成联系，那就是第13号区域，市议员的名字是 Tag Evers， 最后还要必须联系你的景区的队长，也要跟他们达成联系。
All right, thank you, Ms. Wang, and thank you, Holly, for staying here with us.
那好，
Attorney
谢谢温女士。
Attorney McReynolds.
Thank you, Chair. Interpreter, could you also please let the applicant know that if they contact the clerk's office with any questions, the City of Madison has interpreters available, so they can call and we should be able to get someone on the phone if they have any questions. So we should be able to interpret if they have any questions.
然后就完全是，如果你对这个整个申请过程当中，如果遇到任何问题，或者是需要联系市办事员办公室，就 clerk's office 的话，你可以给他们打电话，然后他们也可以在线连上一个翻译。所以如果有任何问题的话，随时可以跟办事员的办公室联系。OK。
Excellent. Let's move on to item 14, the Marquette Hotel and Cafe. Do we have a registrant here for that item? James Montgomery is here twice. Is he registered?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, James Montgomery is registered for this item.
Okay, Mr. Montgomery, welcome. So before we start, I'm going to talk about required contacts. Did you contact the alder and the police captain?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you host an informational session that was advertised on an orange sign?
Yes.
Okay. Now, tell us about your business and your request.
Sure. We are a small. Sorry.
You're going to want to mute one of those instances of yourself.
Go ahead, James. James, if you're talking, we can't hear you. I think you may be. Okay,
Um,
now he's muted. Now he's
Hello.
unmuted. Hi, can you hear us?
Can you folks hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. Sorry for the confusion. The business is an 11-room boutique hotel on 414 South Baldwin Street. We operate a cafe 5 days a week from the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning till 2 p.m. The application is for a liquor license to operate Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Outdoor seating in the front, approximately 6, and outdoor seating in the back, approximately 20. Food would be pizza, charcuterie boards, probably a seasonal changing menu with some locally sourced items.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the committee? Any questions from the committee? Attorney McReynolds.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to clarify the hours. So you're requesting an alcohol license for all of the hours that you plan to be open, correct?
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Yeah, I guess, yeah, you're right. You're right. The new hours would be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But the application for the liquor license would be for all hours we operate, but I guess we didn't really foresee any alcohol sales in the morning.
Okay. So then I'm looking at your application and it's only listing the evening hours. So could you clarify for the committee and so the clerk can amend kind of in your application what your total planned operational hours would be?
Right. Thank you. That's a good question.
All right,
I'm sorry.
are you still, are you going to answer that question?
The hours, yes, the hours would be 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then reoccurring at 4 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Every day?
The 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. would be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay, so 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yes.
Do you plan to have Sunday evening hours? Because that's on your application as well.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I think we got it. Did you get that?
I did not get that.
So, so 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. there, and what he has, but except it goes to 10.
Okay.
And then 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. these days. And then 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. these days. And then that changes to 10.
Okay.
And then, yep, everything else is there. So,
Okay.
so I think we got it. I confirm that Jim wrote it on his notes. So,
Thank you. I have nothing further.
Alder Revere.
My questions, I think, relate to the conditional use permit that you received when the business was established. What was that, 8 or 9 years ago now? And you know better than us, but my understanding is that the conditional use permit that was issued by the city has conditions that could relate to the issuance of this license. And so specifically that alcohol is currently prohibited by virtue of your conditional use permit, and then also related to perhaps the outdoor space and alcohol being served there, or the outdoor space being used at all. Could you elaborate on if my understanding is correct or not in those areas?
The time of approval for the Marquette Hotel was 2016. My memory is vague on this. I did contact our alder, Marshall Rummel. She looked into it, and it does appear that alcohol is not prohibited for this site.
It's not prohibited.
And you have an email.
Yeah, that's
So you will not need to apply for a conditional use alteration?
that is to my understanding.
So I believe that the current condition on the conditional use permit, again, not the ALRC, since you've never been before us before for this property, but the Plan Commission in 2016, it says, and I quote, "As related to this conditional use request, the sale of alcohol is prohibited. The future sale of alcohol related to this conditional use request will require a conditional use alteration subject to Plan Commission review and approval." Did Alder Rummel specifically say that that actually is not an issue, or just that you will have to go through a process, be either parallel or after this process that you're in right now in terms of the alcohol license approval?
Yeah, I may have misunderstood her email. It was to my understanding that alcohol was not prohibited, but it appears that you were reading from a citing from 2016 approval of the hotel. So it looks like this is something that would be run in parallel to the license application.
Okay, so it sounds like then you haven't had a chance to meet with anyone in city zoning as to what the process would be to ensure that you're in compliance there?
Yeah, this would be newer information for me, and I would have to look further into this.
The only thing that it was related to was closing.
And now, is this also for just outside operation, or is this all operation for alcohol license?
I read it as all operations. It's, by the way, for anybody following along in our legislative tracking software, it's file number 43417. So perhaps if Attorney McReynolds or the Deputy City Clerk would like, or maybe others would like to look at this, I believe it's legislative file number 43417. And so one condition appears to be what I just read, which would be the entire premise. And then the second part of my question, which I can get to next, relates to the outdoor eating area. But the history, as I understand it, is that Alder Rummel at the time in 2016 and the Marquette Neighborhood Association did not support the project. And in part, it was because of concern about alcohol use onto the residential side streets off of Willie Street. I understand and congratulate you on the fact that the Neighborhood Association has changed their position on that. And in our packet, obviously, is a letter of support from MNA. So that is to be acknowledged, and thankful to the Neighborhood Association for sharing their input with us. It's always very helpful. The other condition that I see reads, and I quote, "The outdoor eating area shall not be used for food or beverage service or outdoor activity after 9:30 p.m., 7 days a week." Now, it sounds like the hours that you just reviewed for our legal counsel and for all of us, are fairly similar to that. So that might not be that big of a deal, but I just wanted to point out that, and we deal with this somewhat regularly here at our committee, where there's confusion amongst our applicants or license holders because we aren't the only body that has jurisdiction over these matters. The other body is the Plan Commission, and before the city clerk's office will issue the license, if it is granted by us and the Common Council, zoning will have to sign off before the license can be issued. So I just wanted to give you a heads up and a fair warning that it seems to me that there are zoning issues here. And I know I'm putting on the spot our legal counsel by asking if that's her read of the situation. But so perhaps I can just leave it at that and say, no matter what we do here, the license can't be issued until all zoning matters have been addressed. And I'd encourage you sooner rather than later to reach out to the city zoning administrator or members of her staff to clarify that. So, Chair, I think I'll leave it at that. I know I'm realizing putting Attorney McReynolds on the spot. I don't know if she wishes to comment on my question or not.
Attorney McReynolds?
Thank you, Chair. I am seeing the same thing that Alder Verveer is seeing. So this has come up a couple times before with this body where there's a zoning issue kind of intertwined with a ALRC license. There's not a hard and fast rule of which one has to come first, but typically we prefer that the zoning issue be discussed first to even see if it's possible to apply for an alcohol license or what an applicant would need to do to move forward with that. So it is, up to the body, but my recommendation would be to refer so that the applicant could figure this out first. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair, if I
Yep, Alder
with
Verveer.
appreciation to Attorney McReynolds, if I could reclaim my time for a moment, please.
Yes.
Yep. So if I could ask the applicant, would it be a hardship for us to delay consideration of your application by a month? I realize that seemingly in the neighborhood it isn't controversial, and I'm not sure that I'm ready to say that we should delay you a month. But the reality is that it will take perhaps the whole month to get through the zoning process in any event. But could you just comment on what your timeline was when you hope to start serving alcoholic beverages at the hotel?
Yes, we plan to start immediately, but I do understand your point that it may take a little bit of time to sort out the details. Is it at all possible to move forward with this meeting and then I can work immediately with the city and the alder to see if we can make those changes quickly?
So I'm just obviously one voting member of this body, so I take your question perhaps as rhetorical because I can't answer it. But let me ask you this. If we were to take a more affirmative action tonight than re-referral, can you just confirm for me with the condition of approval that you had back in 2016 relating to the outdoor eating area, would you be comfortable having that added as a condition of your alcohol license? And I'll read that for you again, the current language that's running with the property, by the way. So conditional use permits run with the property, not with the ownership. So currently it's required by city ordinance, in essence, that the outdoor eating area shall not be used for food or beverage service or outdoor activity after 9:30 p.m., 7 days a week. Are you comfortable with that being a condition of your alcohol license? Again, no use in essence in terms of food or any beverage consumption after 9:30 p.m. at night, owing to the fact that it's obviously a residential neighborhood.
Can you hear me? Yes, I am comfortable with the ending time at 9:30 PM for all outdoor seating, eating and beverage.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you, Chair.
Attorney McReynolds?
Thank you, Chair. While it is a bit clunky, it is possible to approve the license with the condition that Alder Verveer suggested, knowing that even if this body approves the license, they will not be able to sell alcohol until it goes through zoning anyway and goes through the process. So, this does happen sometimes when a license is approved and a place never is able to sell alcohol. So it is possible to approve the license and let zoning take care of the rest. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions for the applicant? Any comments or a motion from a committee member? Alder Verveer.
Thank you, Chair. I move to grant the license with the following condition. Quote, the outdoor eating area shall not be used for food or beverage service or outdoor activity after 9:30 PM, 7 days a week. And I can repeat that for the deputy city clerk or anyone else one more time. Again, this is verbatim. What my understanding is the current conditional use permit condition for the property. Again, quote, the outdoor eating area shall not be used for food or beverage service or outdoor activity after 9:30 PM, 7 days a week.
Second.
Okay, so the motion is to approve with the condition that the outdoor eating area shall not be used for food or beverage service or outdoor activities after 9:30 PM, 7 days a week. By Alder Verveer, second by Ms. Westra. After 9:30 PM. Is there any objection to this motion? Seeing none, item 14 is approved with conditions. Thank you, James, for speaking with us tonight. Next on our agenda is item number 15. New license for the Green Room, 2001 Atwood Avenue. Is there an applicant, is there a registrant for this? Your name? John Hardy. John Hardy. And he's registered.
John, I don't see you registered, so after the meeting, I'll need you to register. I believe I sent you a link on how to do that. Okay.
Okay, thank you. You've been here all night, so you know what I'm going to ask. Did you make the required notifications to the alder, the police captain, and hold an informational session with the orange sign? Yes. Excellent. Tell us about your business.
The Green Room is an elevated neighborhood bar and lounge specializing in classic cocktails, craft beer, and for food, we were thinking kind of prepackaged pizzas, pretzels, charcuterie board, shareable appetizers. Yeah, just kind of a lounge in that Shanks Corners neighborhood.
All right. Are there any questions from the committee? Did this location had an alcohol license before or not? Okay.
Yes, it was previously the Wedge, and
The Wedge.
before that it was One Barrel.
Okay. Yep. I'm picturing it now. Are there any questions from members of the committee?
Were there any restrictions on the previous licenses?
I don't believe there was, no.
Not at the Wedge. And how long have you been in the business of?
I'd say 22 years,
Okay.
about.
And you talked with the neighborhood association, you said?
Yes.
How did that go?
Yeah, good. Actually, very supportive. I attended, the Harmony had a Sassy Social and seemed to make some contacts there. And I have an email from the police captain in approval for the space. So, kind of guided my way through it as a first timer, but kind of figuring it out, and everyone seems to be supporting it.
Okay. Sounds good.
Neither the Wedge nor One Barrel had a conditional license.
Further questions from the committee? I'm seeing none. John, I think you're done for now.
Thank you.
Are there any comments about this application? Is there a motion?
Move approval.
Moved approval by Ms. Westra,
Second.
second by Alder Verveer. Any objection to approval? Item 15, the green room. Seeing none, item 15 is approved. Next up is item 16, Hotel Indigo, Pallet Bar and Grill. Is there an applicant or is there a registrant for this one?
Yep, Kurt Brink is in support, available to answer questions in here. And Emma Nagy is in support, available to answer questions and in Zoom.
All right, and say your name again?
Curtis Brink.
Curtis Brink, and what's your connection with this business?
We developed the hotel when we were part of the ownership.
Okay. And have you made the required notifications to the Alder Police in the
Yes,
neighborhood?
From our managers, the applicant, everything's been made. We had the notification of the neighborhood meeting before we even applied for the license and notified the elder and everything else.
Okay. Excellent. Now, you can tell us a little bit about your business, anything you want the committee to know.
Basically, we're part of it, the requirement is we have to put a new license because we're just gonna control the pallet right now. It's been in existence since we opened in basically 2020, and we're just keeping the operation the same employees, the thing. We're just gonna be in charge of with our own management running it.
Okay.
So we're doing the formality here.
Are there any questions from committee members? Attorney McReynolds.
Thank you. I had a question about your hours. Are they the same hours that are currently being used, and do they stop serving food before close? I just noticed in the application that at the end of the night there would not be food, and I wanted to confirm if that's still the case.
I think Emma's online, and I think Emma can ask that best for us right now.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. They have a late night menu for the last hour of their service, so they do serve food until close. So that is 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and then 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays.
Okay, and so on your application it says there would be no food from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Is that correct?
No, they have that late night menu for that last hour, so we can fix that, but there would be no food from it's no food from 10 p.m. to past 10 p.m. on that Monday through Thursday, but they do serve food from 10 to 11 on Fridays and Saturdays.
I see. Okay. And then the current license has a condition that the outdoor patio will close by midnight, Sunday through Thursday, and close by 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Are you comfortable with that same condition?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Further questions from the committee? Seeing none.
Move approval with the previous condition.
Okay, Ms. Westra moves approval with the previous condition. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alder Verveer. So the question is approval with the same condition that was on it before. Does anyone need the condition read?
I can read it.
Go ahead.
Outdoor patio will close at midnight, Sunday through Thursday, and 1 a.m. Friday and Saturday.
Thank you. Is there any objection to approval? Seeing none. Item 16 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, item 18, Dream Lanes.
We have two registrants. Robin Goldberg is in support and wishing to speak, and Matthew Orvis in support, available to answer questions. And Matt Orvis is in Zoom.
Thank you.
Hi there.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Have you made the required contacts?
I have, yes.
Okay. Tell us about your request.
Oh, well, actually, I was before the committee last fall. Had some potential buyers. This committee and the Common Council granted the license, but unfortunately, those folks moved away from the deal. So I have some new buyers interested as part of their due diligence. Obviously, a liquor license is very important to them. So I'm back again in front of the committee to answer any questions and hopefully get a license granted for these folks.
All right. So do you sell alcohol? You don't sell alcohol now.
We do sell alcohol now.
Okay, but so just I guess I remember this was a little confusing.
Yeah, so I'm the current owner operator of Dream Lanes, a bowling center on the east side. These folks are interested in purchasing the business as well as the land and the building for me. I will continue to be their general manager.
Right. Yeah.
Our entire staff will remain in place. Literally nothing will change. These folks are very happy with the operation as is and not seeing anything really changing in the future other than a couple years down the road. I would like to retire.
Sounds good. Are there any questions from committee members? Seeing none, is there a motion?
I'll move for approval.
Motion by Alder Knox. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Westra. Any objection to approval of item 18 for Dream Lanes East? Seeing none, item 18 is approved.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Next up is item 20, new license for Pump and Shop. Is there an Class A beer, Class A liquor? Is there an applicant for this one? Registrant?
And Adnan Makbul is registered in support, available to answer questions, I believe in Zoom. And Alicia Kraut is also registered in support, available to answer questions,
All right.
and also in Zoom.
Okay, so who's going first? Alicia?
Hi.
Hi. Are you ready to discuss this?
Yes.
Have you discussed your application with the alder of the district and the police captain?
Yes.
And have you notified the neighborhood with an orange sign and been available for a discussion?
Yes.
Excellent. Tell us about your request.
We are a convenience store with gas, and we're just trying to run business as is. We recently purchased the stores and would like to continue the sales of alcohol and adding liquor in if possible.
Alder Knox, question?
Yeah, just generally, I thought our ordinance prohibited alcohol sales at an establishment like this. Is that true?
If I recall, well, I'll just go to Attorney McReynolds.
Attorney McReynolds? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I don't have it pulled up, but there is an ordinance that limits the type of alcohol that can be sold where there are pumps. I'll pull it up and look into that. I will say this location does have a current license, and so this is essentially it looks like to me new owners asking for a similar license. But I'll pull up that ordinance.
I think
I appreciate that. I thought they could apply for Class B, but not A, but I could be wrong on that. Sorry.
it's actually a limitation on spirits. Whether it's a Class A or B, they have the limitation that they can't sell spirits if they sell motor fuel. So typically what we've done in the past is if they apply for a Class A liquor or Class B liquor, there's a condition on licenses, the Class A liquor is limited to sales of wine and cider only.
Yep, that's what I remember.
Are there conditions on this license, or is it just new? You don't have a from the previous one?
I'd have to bring it up.
Yeah, I don't see any.
Staff from McReynolds checking that, or no? Okay, I'll wait. I'm fine. No more questions.
So while we're looking into that, are there any other questions for the applicant? So Alicia, you know that, so there, as you heard, there's an ordinance that you cannot sell intoxicating liquors other than wine and cider if you have gas pumps. You understand that?
Yes, I did hear that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see it on this last license, but I see it on the license prior to that one.
Any other questions for the applicant? If there are no further questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Move approval, but with the condition.
Okay, so, motion by Ms. Westra to approve with the condition that the sale of liquor is limited to wine and cider only. Seconded by Alder Knox. Is there any objection to this motion? Alder Knox, your hand is up. Is that left over? Seeing no objection, the motion passes. So it looks like we
do have somebody in Zoom has dialed in,
all right.
so I can allow them and ask them to unmute. Oh, that's not who I want to ask to unmute, that person.
Yeah, hi. This is Hernan McBull. So I spoke with my alderwoman, and she was in a favor because there's a Quick Trip across the street. They have the full liquor license, and she said she would give us this license.
Well, are you asking about, so you're asking about 5551 East Park Boulevard?
Correct.
So what the committee just approved your request for Class A beer, Class A liquor, and added a condition that liquor sales is limited to cider and wine only. So that condition, regardless of if that condition is on there or not, you still, that limitation still exists. And it would exist for any place in the city with gas pumps.
Okay. Is that just city of Madison?
Yes. Alder Revere, do you have something to add?
Yeah, I'm looking at, I think what you're talking about the Quick Trip at 4825 American Parkway.
Yes.
They do have a condition on the license that says there shall be no sales of intoxicating liquor with the exception of wine and cider.
Okay. Because I thought my alderwoman, I met with her today too, and she said she would be, but I actually didn't know the law, what the law is in Madison for gas stations.
Alder Revere, did you want to add something?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Two points, and I realize this is a bit unorthodox since we already voted, but I'll be quick so we don't have to move reconsideration. For the applicant's benefit, I spoke with Alder Madison immediately after you met with her. She even told me about the snow concern on your property, so I hope you were able to address that after she left in terms of clearing the sidewalks. But Alder Madison was not aware of the ordinance because it was adopted so many years ago. But the ordinance is clear that if there are gas pumps, no hard liquor sales are allowed, no matter what the size. She talked to me about minis. For example, I said, you don't have to worry about that because no matter what the size package is, spirits are not allowed if there are gas pumps. This is an attempt by us many years ago to reduce drunk driving, frankly. So that's number one. And number two, the chair was technically correct now twice, saying that the condition was added to your liquor license. There might be confusion though on your part that you think we're not approving the beer license. So under the law, just to be clear, Class A beer and Class A liquor are two separate licenses in case you're not aware. So the committee just voted in the last few minutes to recommend it granting the Class A beer license with no restrictions. So you could have single sale of beer, something I talked to your alder about. And the Class A liquor means that you can only have wine in essence. So I just wanted to explain that to you and explain why perhaps Alder Madison didn't mention that to you when you talked with her earlier today. It's because she was not personally aware of the ordinance until I shared that with her.
Okay. Thanks for the clarification.
You're very welcome. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Can we ask that?
Yep, now I've asked the person, whoever's called from the 715 number, asked if you unmute. I'm not sure what item you're here for.
It's *6 to unmute.
And we had two items we tabled because people either dropped off or weren't here, so. I don't think they're unmuting, so I would ask the committee if we're done with regular business and we're just going to go to the reports, if we could refer the items, the two items, we take off the items off the table that we've tabled and then refer them to a future meeting or do whatever you wish.
All right, so there, item 2 and item 12 are on the table right now. If we want to move on, we need to take them off the table. Is there a motion to do so?
So moved.
Moved by Alder Verveer. Is there a second?
Yes.
Second. Second by
Knox.
Alder Knox. So now I'd entertain a motion to refer both of these to the next regularly scheduled ALRC meeting.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Westra,
I'll second.
second by Alder Knox. Is there any objection? Seeing none, these are referred. We'll see them again next time. Next on the agenda is a report of Madison Police Department. Captain Komoski.
Sure. One thing to bring up, I guess, mainly for that, is I know it was in the news, so I'm not sure if you're aware, but our Central CPT did a tavern safety check on January 30th around 11:30 p.m. At the Nitty Gritty, their downtown location. We had actually received a couple of different anonymous complaints over the past couple of months about a large number of underage patrons drinking there with some potentially like lax ID checks. And so that was one of the things that prompted this check. So at the time that they did this check, there was some confusion and need for clarification, which did come after the check between the city attorney's office and the attorney that was representing the owners of the Nitty Gritty. They are operating as a restaurant, but then there's that specific thing in the ordinance about them being able to prove that after certain kind of late hours that they're still showing that 50% sales. So when they did this at the time and ran the receipts for the time period, it was showing that it wasn't quite 50-50. And what happened out of that tavern safety check is they had a total of 206 underage patrons in the establishment. And the capacity there is 402 for that establishment. Where the confusion lies, and I think where we have things straightened out and are on a good path with the Nitty Gritty now on straightening some things out, was that yes, they are allowed when their attorney produced the receipts. They are indeed showing that they are a bona fide restaurant and they're serving food until midnight. So those underage patrons can be in that establishment until midnight. The issues that we were seeing, and when I spoke with one of the owners by phone, was just some things that they need to definitely, that we would like to see them shore up on their ID check procedures and serving, because as it stands, individuals who are going into the restaurant portion were not being asked for identification to show age. And then if they tried to purchase alcohol while they were dining at their tables, the servers were the ones that were tasked with checking for that proof of age. If the individuals were going over to the bar area, those individuals were ID'd to be of legal drinking age. The issue is that there is a free flowing between the two, where there's really not any type of check if you were to leave, let's say, the restaurant portion of it, where you had not been shown proof of identity when you went in, or proof of age, and then go through the bar area to go to the restrooms, for example, or go up and order drinks, that there wasn't then that secondary card to see if the individual who was ordering was of age. And we did have several individuals in there that admitted that they were drinking their underage knowingly, and that they did know that there was kind of a unspoken rule of, hey, you can potentially get into this establishment because it's a restaurant and get up to the bar area. So they have been very receptive to working with us. As I said, their attorney did meet with ACA Zillaby to clarify that yes, they were a bona fide restaurant, but that it was important that now as moving forward that they're going to need to do some better ID checks to try to curb that underage alcohol consumption there. So they are definitely willing to work with us as far as some ID check training and some other things that they're going to put in place. And that meeting just happened between the two attorneys. So we haven't worked out the details yet, but I think we definitely are on the right track to rectifying this issue. Other than that, nothing too much in the calls for service. The other mention that I just wanted to make to this committee, excuse me, is earlier this week I was promoted to assistant chief. So you will be having a new captain come into the central district there. That's going to be Captain Kip Hartman, who's going to start in this position, my current position, at the 2nd of March, I think is kind of the active date. So he will be taking my place, but I will attend with him at our next meeting to get everything up to speed and make sure that he feels comfortable with how things go. And so I will see you at the next meeting still, but he will also be in attendance and taking over my role. And that's all I have.
Well,
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Captain. Congratulations. Thank you for your service to this committee and to the city. Next up, we have report of the city clerk's office.
Yeah, a couple things. We're getting close to renewal time. All of our letters to licensees and the renewal forms will go out on March 1st. And we're very hopeful that this is the last year that we'll have to do paper forms. I've been working with IT to try to get all of our applications electronically. And we don't quite have enough time to do anything this year for renewals. But we're hopeful that that next year and in future years, just like our operator license renewals, that we can do this online. The only other thing I wanted to touch on is last month we had in the report that the license for the Zavala's Family Restaurant, I think, had dropped off the deadline. I actually found out that that wasn't the case. They had already paid the $10,000 fee and everything, and they had their sign off. So that one did get issued since before, prior to falling off on the deadline. But other than that, that's all I have, and I'm available to answer questions.
Alder Verveer.
Thank you, Chair. My hand was actually raised for the chief, the newly minted chief. I hope that Angie's still with us. Thank you. Thanks for turning your camera back on, Chief. First and foremost, congratulations again on your well-deserved promotion. We're going to miss you very much at the LRC, and I'll personally miss you very much in your role as our downtown commander. And I really appreciate that you're going to onboard your successor here at the ALRC. And if I heard you correctly, you will be with Captain Hartman at the next meeting, correct?
Yes.
Then I won't spend too much time embarrassing you now. We'll save that for next month. So, and welcome Kip next month from, wasn't he just recently task force commander?
Yeah, he's
So-
moving over. So that,
Yeah.
that position is a lieutenant position that commands that unit. And so, yeah, his promotion to captain, and he'll be coming into the central district.
So it'll be a fun transition from task force for the whole county and to joining the central district. But I did want to ask you a question or two besides congratulations. The first is, I don't know if you spoke with Assistant City Attorney Jen Zillaby since she met with me after she met with the Nitty Gritty's attorney, but we had a long conversation and covered a lot of topics. Just to share with the committee, it's highly likely that you will see in the near future an ordinance amendment to clarify the currently fairly ambiguous ordinance relating to underage persons and licensed establishments. if they are indeed bona fide restaurants, and how that should work. Right now, the current ordinance language is not that clear. So that is something that we did talk about. Beyond that particular issue, and for those that don't know, the nitty-gritty is located in the district I'm elected to represent. That's why we had the conversation. And I've also talked to the license holder there about what happened as well, to disclose that. But beyond that, and I appreciate you addressing this, Captain, could you comment, and I know you probably don't know this besides just anecdotally, but it certainly seems to me and seemed to ACA Zillivi, and certainly anecdotally from those in the industry, and also just the complaints I'm getting from constituents not in the industry as patrons, that the activities of the Central CPT in terms of the way they do tavern safety checks has changed since the last shift change. I mean, shift change a year ago when our tavern liaisons changed. Is that something you could comment on? Is it factual can you, I know you wouldn't have the numbers in front of you by any means, but isn't it accurate to say that there has been a position kind of change within the Central CPT in terms of how these tavern safety checks are being conducted, the amount of personnel being used, the hours that they spend in the establishments and so forth?
That has been consistent since I started, but I've only been in the district since June. The way that they have been conducting them has been consistent since then. Excuse me, with going in and taking time in those establishments. So I'm not sure if you can let me know if you're referring to something else, or if I'm not exactly sure. There hasn't been a huge change since I came in.
Yeah, thank you. I don't want to take up the time of the committee, too much, especially since this is your last official meeting. I don't mean to end on such a heavy note for you, even though, yes, thank you for being with us next month as well as assistant chief. But Attorney Zillivi was planning to meet with you, I think, before you move offices down the hallway, so to speak. And I may or may not be invited to the meeting, but she and I both have noticed a pretty distinct change in terms of how the tavern safety checks are being conducted, both in frequency, the amount of citations being issued, the fact that, again, the amount of time that's being spent, what's being prioritized in the tavern safety check. So I just wanted to mention that to you, since you haven't spoken with ACA Zillivi, it sounds like in the last 24 plus hours, perhaps, that it is certainly a concern that both of us share, and we wanted to communicate that to you and your successor, and I guess, most importantly, to get an understanding of if this was a policy direction of the department, or it's been more within CPT that they've, just because of tavern safety liaisons, changed a year ago at shift change, again, not the most recent shift change, if that's what's behind this. So anyway, I didn't know if you wanted to respond to any of that, and I realize you're on your way out to enjoy your deserved promotion, but it's something that I think it would be helpful perhaps if the ALRC heard more details about in a meeting sooner rather than later, and actually meet I realize our meetings are often quite long, but actually meet with the Central District CPT to understand exactly what they're doing. And if the committee is willing to do it outside of a formal meeting, perhaps and have a special meeting, that would be great too. I'll just close by saying that in the old days, the ALRC was invited to the tavern safety trainings that the CPD conducted. And we have, as a committee, at least haven't been invited to any of those trainings for quite a while. Well, I attended one with you since you came back to the Central District as our commander that I know we had at Liquid, last year, and appreciated being invited to that one. But the committee hasn't had the opportunity to attend those. So that's just one more thing I'd pass on to you and your team. But again, moreover, I just want to congratulate you again, soon to be chief.
No, I appreciate that. I have not had a chance to connect with ACA Zillaby since she met with their attorney, but definitely we would for sure sit down and talk about concerns and things and look at direction that she thinks is best to go and the ALRC is best to go. I know that they have scheduled the tavern safety trainings for this coming year, for the spring. I believe they're going to be in April, so I will make sure to ask them to extend an invite to all of you so that if any of you would like to attend that. I know this year they're trying something new as well, and they're going to do a meeting with just owners and things first, and then a secondary meeting with staff and servers. So I will make sure that is the case. And let me know too. I'm sure they would be more than willing to meet with you. Just let me know, you can let me know offline how best that would be accomplished, if it's something that would be added to the end of a meeting, or if some other venue. But I know that they would welcome that contact.
That's great. Thanks for everything. Really appreciate it. And again, congratulations on your much deserved promotion, Chief.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, everyone. Seeing as there's nothing on the agenda, the only appropriate motion is to adjourn.
Move adjournment.
So moved, or
Second.
there's been a motion by Ms. Westra, a second by Ms. Carter. I know all your voices. I don't even have to look at the screen. Without objection, we're adjourned. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.